morning, everyone, and welcome to the class. Today, we will start a new chapter in civics, and that is struggles for equality. As you are in the last chapter of the book, and we know that the whole book actually deals with this issue of equality in the society. We see that how people, different people in different chapters, we have discussed about how they are treated unequally and how they were exploited because of their unequal status, be it the story of Kanta or the story of Ansaris or the story of Milani or Swapna. They all were the victim of unequal treatment. Okay, so this chapter deals with the struggles for equality. Why we struggle for equality? Because equality is not there in the society. There is lack of equal treatment in the society. There is lack of justice in the society. But our constitution clearly gave us this fundamental right to equality. The constitution says that all the Indians are equal before the law and no person can be discriminated against on the basis of their religion, caste, gender, or economic status. Still, we find that we face inequality in the society. So, in order to get equal treatment, in order to bring equality in the society, in order to bring justice in the society, people had to fight. People had to fight for equal status, people had to fight for equal treatment because it is given in the constitution, but the government is not able to provide it. So, people fight. People fight and through their battle, through their struggle, people put pressure on the government to implement the provisions of the constitution, because the constitution recognizes right to equality. So we see that what is the main reason for unequal treatment in our society, why people are not treated equally in the society. The main reason, we can say there are some important reason behind this unequal treatment. Like the first reason is poverty and lack of resources. Because people are poor, because they don't have resources, that becomes the main reason for unequal treatment. Like there is an example, like the man who sells juice, he cannot, he is not having the resources to compete with other major companies who sell branded drinks because they are rich. They are selling branded drinks, they are doing advertisement for that, and they are earning a lot, while the man who sells juice is not doing anything to sell her juice, to sell his or her juice. He is simply making her juice, so he cannot compete with those people. So what is the reason for this inequality is lack of resources. Like we have also seen about Swapna, who was not having enough resources to grow cotton, and that because of that she had to take loan from the trader, and because he took loan from the traders, he was forced to sell her produce only to the trader at a lower price. So this is the problem. This is the main reason for unequal treatment, poverty. Melanie is also one of the examples in which we find she was just like the millions of domestic workers who was forced to tolerate the insult and hardship of working as a domestic help because she has no resource to set up something on her own. She lacks resources. That is why she has to work as a domestic help, and that is why she is getting humiliated, and she is not able to get equal treatment. So we find that poverty is the most important reason for unequal treatment. But poverty is not the only reason, because we have one more example of Ansaris. We have seen that Ansaris were discriminated against. Why? not because they were not having the resources. They have the resources. They were ready to pay for the house which they were going to take as rent, but people were not ready to give them house on rent. Why? Because they belong to other community. So here, what becomes the basis for unequal treatment is religion. In the similar way, you have all also read about Om Prakash Valmiki. He has to sweep the schoolyard. Why? Because he was a Dalit. So here we find that this discrimination is taking place because of caste. Not only this, many times we find that you have these chapters also about the women. We see that the women are given less remuneration as compared to their male counterpart. For the same work, the women get lesser amount than the men. So this is also a discrimination for which the basis is gender. So these are the main basis on which discrimination is done. The first is poverty, the second is religion, the third is caste, the fourth is gender. Okay, so because of these, on the basis of these four, there are mainly these four bases. Other than these, there are other bases also on which discrimination happens in society. But here we are concerned only about these four: poverty, religion, caste, and gender. So now we see struggles for equality. We have seen what are the basis for unequal treatment, and now we see that people who are treated unequally, they become dissatisfied. Many times people tolerate all these things. They do not raise their voice against the system, against the society. They accept everything, but it is not the case every time. Sometimes some people raise their voice against this unequal treatment, and such people are given so much respect by the society. Society give respect to such people who are not ready to accept the unequal treatment, who are not ready to accept the injustice in the society. These people get respect. We have the example of so many people like Gandhi. Gandhi stood against the unequal treatment only. In South Africa, when he was in South Africa, he was treated unequally because he was an Indian. And from where we see that his struggle starts for getting equal treatment. So people who fight against injustice, people who fight against unequal treatment get respect in the society. And in our country, we have so many struggles when we see that people have come together to fight for getting justice, for getting equal treatment. You have read in the earlier chapter, in chapter 5, you have read about the women's movement, in which so many issues of equality were raised by women. And one such organization is there, Tava Matsya Sangh in Madhya Pradesh, where we find that people came together to fight for an issue. People came together to fight for their own interest, because their own interest was at stake. If they don't fight, they will lose the everything. So they came together for to fight. ऐसे बहुत सारे स्ट्रगल्स हैं हमारी कंट्री में, जबकि जो पुअर पीपल थे, जो वीकर सेक्शन था, वो एक साथ ऑर्गेनाइज हुआ. And when the weak are organized together, they become strong. ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में स्ट्रेंथ है, यूनिटी में स्ट्रेंथ है. वी ऑल नो, यू नो द स्टोरी ऑफ दैट स्टिक्स ना, कि जब अलग अलग स्टिक्स को तोड़ने के लिए कहा जाता है तो वी कैन ब्रेक देम वेरी इजीली, बट अगर उसी स्टिक को एक बंडल में बांध दिया जाता है और तब उसको अगर तोड़ने के लिए कहा जाए तो हम उसे नहीं तोड़ पाते. दिस इज यूनिटी. So united we stand, divided we fall. So this is the main thing. If we want to fight against the society, if we want to fight against the system, we need to be united, we need to be organized. But here also we find that initiative must be taken by a single person. You can't wait for कि सब लोग जब साथ चलेंगे तभी हम चलेंगे. अगर आपको आवाज उठानी है तो पहला कदम आपको बढ़ाना होगा. You have to take the initiative. Okay, so that is the most important thing, and now we are focusing our attention on this Tava Matsya Sangh. Okay, so this Tava Matsya Sangh is first of all you must know what do we mean. What is Tava? Tava is a river which is a tributary of Narmada River. Okay, Tawa, it's a tributary of Narmada River and it originates in Mahadev Hills of Chhindwara district of Madhya Pradesh. The river originates in Mahadev Hills of Chhindwara district. It flows through Betul. Betul is also a river. And then lastly in Hosangabad, it joins Narmada. So what happened that the government decided to build a dam on this river, and the construction of dam started in the year 1957 58, and it was completed in 1978. So what we find when this construction of dam was going on, what happened that large areas of the nearby places, the forest land, the agricultural land, they got submerged. Because of construction of dam, the large areas of forest and agricultural land got submerged. So when these lands got submerged, what happened that people who were living there, they had to leave the place. है ना, जब उनके घर जहां पर वो रह रहे थे फॉरेस्ट में, वो रहने वाले ट्राइबल्स, दीज आर द ट्राइबल पीपल, दीज आर who were living in the forest, now their place is underwater. So what is the option in front of them? They have to leave that place. So they left the place and now they have nothing because they were doing agriculture there. They cannot carry their land with them now. So now they have nothing. So what happened that these people who were displaced because of construction of Tawa Dam, they started settling near the reservoir. तवा डैम जो बना उसका जो रिजर्वायर है उसके पास वो सेटल होने लगे. Reservoir is a heavy construction in which the river water is collected, and then वहाँ से reservoir से पानी को बहुत ऊपर से नीचे छोड़ा जाता है. So what happens that the speed of water is so much that because of that speed of water the turbine moves and then generator moves and then electricity is generated. So dam बनाने का जो main purpose होता है that is hydel power generation. You don't have to go in those details. I'm just telling you कि आप you must have an idea कि रिजर्वायर क्या है. रिजर्वायर जहाँ पर पानी को कलेक्ट किया जा रहा है रिवर के, तो रिजर्वायर के पास they started to settle around the reservoir and they started doing fishing for the purpose of their livelihood. Okay. So when these people displaced from their original place, they faced a lot of problems. Still, they were managing somehow, and they also found a livelihood in fishing. But now again a new problem arose in 1994 when we see that the government gave rights for fishing in Tawa Reservoir to private contractors. This was done by the government of Madhya Pradesh. That in the Tawa reservoir, the private contractors will have been given this rights for the fishing. Now these contractors, what they started to do, that they started to drive the local people away from that place, and they started to bring cheap labor from outside. So what happened that these people who were displaced from their original place because of construction of dam, Now they have settled near the reservoir. They have found a livelihood also. Now they are again facing a lot of problem because of this decision of the government that it has given the right for fishing to private contractors. Now the villagers were very much disappointed with this all these things, because they were also threatened by the contractor. They were the condition was very bad for the villagers. Now the villagers uh, they understood that now they need to be united. So they stood united and they decided that they must set up an organization and they must do something to protect their right, because they are the victim of injustice which is done by the government. Okay, so they set up an organization which is known as Tawa Matsya Sangh. Okay, so they formed this organization. And what was the purpose of forming this organization? The purpose was to protect their right, to get back their dignity, whatever they were losing, है ना. For that purpose this TMS was formed. And this TMS started to do so many activities, like it started organizing rallies and chakka jam, road blockade. These are the various tools in the hand of the people to show to the government their dissatisfaction, to draw attention of the government as well as the people of the country towards their problem. So these were the tools which were used by the TMS, organizing rallies, doing chakka jam, and they demanded that they must have they must be continued with their right to fishing in the Tawa reservoir. So this was their demand, because they were totally dependent on that fishing only for their livelihood. So what we find that because they started protesting and the government had to pay attention towards their problem. And what was done by the government, that a committee was formed, set up by the government, and this committee was given this duty ki, no, it must see ki what should be done. Should the fishing rights be granted to the villagers for their livelihood or not? And in 1996 this committee was formed. And the committee gave this recommendation that the fishing right must be granted to the villagers for their livelihood. It is not a good decision of the government to give this right to the contractors, and because these contractors are bringing labor from outside, so it will be very very detrimental for these villagers. So the committee recommended that fishing right should be granted to the villagers for their livelihood. And in 1996 the government, the Madhya Pradesh government, decided to give to the people displaced by the Tawa dam the fishing right, है ना. 1996 में उसके रिकमेंडेशन को गवर्नमेंट ने मान लिया. कमिटी ने जो रेकमेंड किया था, गवर्नमेंट ने उस रिकमेंडेशन को मान लिया, और 1996 में उनको ये डिसीजन हुआ कि उनको दे दिया जाएगा फिशिंग का राइट. और एक 5 साल का लीज एग्रीमेंट भी होता है. और 2 जनवरी 1997 को इन्होंने अपना न्यू ईयर की स्टार्टिंग की with the fishing. So this was the victory of TMS. But here we find that TMS did not stop here. We see that the TMS started the work of cooperative also, because these people were fish workers. They were earning a very little amount from fishing. Now, this cooperative was set up, fishing cooperative was set up by TMS. Now, what happened that this cooperative started to buy the catch from them at a fair price, and then this cooperative was totally responsible for selling it in the market, and in the market they were getting a good price. So there was profit, the cooperative was earning profit, and this profit was distributed among the fish workers. So now we see that the role of the trader was completely finished. Here also traders are involved. When the fisherman goes for fishing, he brings his catch. There is a trader who purchases the fish from them and then sell it in the market. So the role of trader is reduced because of this formation of cooperative by TMS. And in this way we find that the fisher folk have now begun to earn three times more than they earned earlier. है ना? They have now begun to earn three times more than they earned earlier. And we see that the TMS has also begun giving the fisherwork loans also. है ना? तो ये बहुत ही अच्छी जिसको हम कहेंगे इनिशिएटिव है. उन्होंने उसके लिए लड़ाई भी लड़ा और अब वो कोऑपरेटिव का भी काम कर रहे हैं, सेलिंग के लिए भी उसको फैसिलिटेट कर रहे हैं और लोन्स भी दे रहे हैं सो दैट दे कैन रिपेयर एंड बाय न्यू नेट्स. So in this way, we see that the TMS has shown that people people have very strength. They can get their rights to livelihood, and not only this, they can be good manager also. So the TMS has shown these things, and it was a huge success. Okay, so we have completed this, and now we will continue with this in the next class.